In our series of reports now with Fox 5's Melanie Alnwick. Mel is live on Capitol Hill now. Melanie, good morning.
Good morning, Tony and Allison. Yeah, you know, some of the lawmakers are starting to come to their offices, their House offices here early this morning. It's pretty much going to be a regular day, and then they'll wait and see what happens in the Senate. One of the things that the House passed over to the Senate yesterday, another tactic, if you will, was another option for them was for senators to agree to defund or to get rid of a medical device tax on things like pacemakers and wheelchairs. Now, this is something that a lot of senators have said they don't like and they'd like to revisit, and so there's perhaps some hope in the House of Representatives that there would be enough senators who dislike that tax that they might agree to trade that off for funding the government. But as we heard yesterday, it doesn't sound like many members of the Senate leadership are willing to deal on anything. So joining me now is Virginia Representative Rob Wittman, Republican. What are your feelings about this? I mean, it sounds like you voted 40 times to repeal or change the Obamacare rules, and so far nothing. Why continue to go at this?
Well, I think it's important. We see the problems with the Affordable Care Act. I hear on a daily basis from constituents about the problems they're having, the expense of insurance premiums, the higher deductibles, the issues that they're having to deal with. So I think we need to continue to have that debate. But I also believe that we should continue to fund the government. We have an obligation to do that. And I've heard loud and clear from folks in my district that they want the government to continue to be open, and they also want us to continue to have the debate about the Affordable Care Act. And I believe that we can do both. I do believe we have an obligation to continue government operations. So I don't want to see a shutdown. So today's our opportunity to continue that back and forth with the Senate and hopefully continue government operations as we continue to debate the Affordable Care Act.
Well, but so far, the Senate and the White House have been unwilling to negotiate on any changes, period. No attachments, no riders, nothing. Clean, continuing resolution, that's it. So how far do you go with this, and does that put you in a position of perhaps bucking House Republican leadership?
Well, I think there'll be a debate today amongst Republicans about, you know, what's our next step. And I want to make sure people understand what I'm hearing from my district, and that is that we want to make sure we don't shut government down. And I think there's an opportunity to do that. So I'm hoping, too, that leaders today in both the House and the Senate will have some discussions about where we go to make sure that come midnight, or at least maybe a minute or two after, that we get the job of the nation done.
So how do you see the day going here? It looks like it's pretty unlikely the Senate is going to pass you anything but a clean CR.
I suspect that the Senate will take our bill and do something with it. Maybe they strip out what we've given them. Maybe they keep the medical device tax element in that and send it back. I hope that they will at least have conversations with us about where they see things going, so that by the end of the day, the House can act affirmatively as well as the Senate to make sure we avoid a shutdown. So what I'm hoping today is that those conversations take place to find where we can navigate to make sure we get the job done.
I was talking to a cab driver actually on the way here this morning, asking him his opinion, because he's one of those people that would have to go out and buy health insurance. And he said, you know, he's hopeful. He wants to be able to buy health insurance. He wants it to be affordable, you know, but he also says, why not just let it get started? We don't know what the problems are until we're actually in it. Why not wait, as your counterpart, Senator Tim Kaine, suggested, and make the changes once we know what needs to be changed?
Sure. Well, I think there's so much uncertainty out there right now with the Affordable Care Act, and we're hearing multiple instances of people not even being able to have their questions answered about how much of a stipend will they receive, what are the true costs going to be within these plans. To me, it's still not ready for prime time. So with that much uncertainty out there, to me, the best thing to do would be to take a step back and say, let's make sure we have this right. I don't want to go out there and put something in place that's not going to work. It would be the same as getting on board an airliner and saying, hey, listen, we're not quite sure whether it's going to work, but let's see if it'll fly. That's not where I think we need to be. We owe it to folks to make sure that we have looked at this, understand exactly what's going to happen with it, and make sure, too, that by any means that we have a system that's going to work for individuals. I think that there's some different ways to do that. There are a lot of different thoughts and ideas out there about how to put the power back into the hands of the patient and the provider, not necessarily in the hands of a larger bureaucracy that we know is going to, at least initially here, we see have many, many problems.
So we got to go, but I just want to ask you directly, if it comes to the point tonight, it's midnight, and you have a choice of voting on a clean CR, even if it's a temporary one, are you going to vote for that?
Well, we'll see what comes to us. It's hard to prognosticate. I just want to make sure that we continue government operations. I think that there's an opportunity for us to do that, as well as take care of some of the other issues that are before the American people that they want us to be working on.
All right, Representative Wittman, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks again. Thank you.
Well, we'll see, Tony and Allison. Could be a very late night here. Back to you.
All right, Melanie, thank you so much.